Hey guys, and welcome to another bourbon review. My name is Clifton, and today we're going to be reviewing Kentucky Owl Confiscated. So first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Brian Allred. He so graciously sent me this sample and a few other ones. I'm hoping to review a lot of them on a live stream next Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That would be awesome. And hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I go live. Usually it's around 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. But yeah, I actually ordered a bottle of this that's coming in this weekend. But I'm so excited to be able to try it a little bit early with this sample. So I figured I'd go ahead and review it for you guys because I know there are some kind of mixed things about it online. And I'm going to try to kind of take a lot of those points into account. I know people are huge fans, and I know some people were let down by this release. So I'm just going to try it out, having never had any of their products before, but have had a few good blended bourbons. If you missed my last, it wasn't my last live stream. If you missed my live stream from 2 weeks ago, I compared a few different blended whiskeys and kind of noticed that there are some differences based on the price. So that's kind of one of the things about Kentucky Owl Confiscated. A lot of people are hung up on the price. Basically, there's no age statement. We don't know where this is sourced from, but it is sourced. And it's a blend. So lots of things that, a lot of people would look down upon. But you know what? If things are blended well, as we've seen in Blackened, which is one of my favorite blends that I've ever bought, it can be a fantastic whiskey. So I'm hoping that's the case with this. I know people obsess over Kentucky Owl and Dixon Dedman. Basically, quick history of Kentucky Owl. It was an old distillery started back in 1879. But it had since closed down. But Dixon Dedman, who is an innkeeper at the Beaumont Inn in Kentucky, kind of resurrected the brand, and he's been doing a lot in the world of whiskey. You'll probably see his name pop up a lot. So I'm excited to try this. The price point is a bit different depending on where you are. It's currently in Southern California. It's $99 at Costco. I know people in Kentucky are having trouble finding it for less than $150. So it's kind of part of the thing, like some people aren't willing to pay that much for it. But for $100, I figured I would give it a try. And again, thanks again, Brian, for sending me this early sample of it so I don't have to open my bottle just to try it for a review. So let's go ahead and open it and see how it tastes. So it's kind of light in color. It doesn't look as dark as I thought it may be. I know, like they said, they haven't released an age statement on it. So we don't know how old it is, like what the different blends are made up of, but it does seem pretty light on the color spectrum. But on the nose, I get a lot more oak than I would imagine with that color. It's still very fruity and light and almost floral. It almost reminds me of like a high rye whiskey or a high rye bourbon. So it's still corn heavy, but I'm getting a lot of like spiciness and floralness and almost honey sweetness that I don't usually get on bourbon. I usually get that on things like Irish whiskey or Scotch even, or Japanese whiskey. I think Japanese whiskey to me is the most floral and honey. Let's see how it tastes. That's different. Wow, this really, to me, I don't know if other people have gotten this, but it reminds me a lot of a Japanese whiskey. It's so light, and I guess that's because it's not as aged as some of the older ones that I like typically. In my last live stream, I drank 14-year-old Knob Creek single barrel, so this is definitely a completely different whiskey than that one, but it's nice. If you really like the lighter floral fruity notes on a whiskey, you definitely will get it with this one. But I get a lot more of that older oak on the finish, so it's like more of like almost like a leather, like. And now that I mentioned leather on the finish, when I go back to nose it, I get a good bit of like leather, almost like a fresh leather boot on the nose. I know if that makes sense. I have to compare it to the Blackened because the Blackened is a blended American whiskey that is only like between $40 and $50. And while it does seem like a lot of thought went into this blending process, I feel like it doesn't taste like what I like the most about bourbon. It tastes like what I like in other whiskeys like Japanese and Scotch, but for a bourbon I look for those deep dark flavors, like the dark fruits, the dark oak, those kind of flavors. And while I do get some leather on the finish and on the nose now that I've gone back to it, I feel like it's missing some of the aspects that I love personally. Again, this is all just opinion. I know some people love this stuff, I know some people hate it. I think of somewhere in the middle. I think it's good stuff, hands down. the price point, for someone that's not ingrained in Kentucky Owl's legacy, I guess I would say. I know some people have followed it from the beginning and are really big fans of their stuff. I just think this is kind of an okay bourbon. And it's 96.4 proof. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but so it's a super drinkable. If you're looking for a drinkable whiskey, this one's it. So I don't know. I think this is an interesting one. I like it. I will drink it, and I'm so happy that I got myself a bottle of it. It'll be a really nice one to bring out for people that, you know, to tell the story of what Dixon Dedman has done to this brand and resurrected it. I think that's the awesome part of this, and I know he's doing great things out there and people love him. But for the whiskey itself, for this release, this nationwide release, their first one in the series, if they're selling this between $100 and $150, I think retail on it is $125, like when it was released. It was just recently released in April, by the way. I think that's kind of high for what this is, and that's just my opinion. I know a lot of work went into it. I don't regret buying it at all, and I think it's a great whiskey in general if you don't look at the price and you don't look at the no age statement. So my question to you guys is, have you tried Kentucky Owl Confiscated? Have you tried any of Kentucky Owl's products? Let me know what you think, because I'm curious to hear how it compares to the other ones that they've released. Or if you tried it and you love it, let me know like what aspect of it you love, because maybe I just need to revisit it and maybe I'll pick up on that next time. My opinion of things change all the time. So that's about it for this review. This is slightly a different style than my normal reviews. I normally am more, I guess, produced. I normally try to tighten things up, so I'm just going free flow with this one. So I hope you guys like that. It's kind of more like my live chats. I try to keep it real, unfiltered, just like I like my whiskey. So yeah, so hopefully you guys like this new format. And if you want to check me out live, come to my live chats. I try to do them, like I said, every Tuesday. So I'd love to interact with you guys, meet you guys. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is awesome. If you check out my playlist, I have a playlist of all of my whiskey reviews, so I should put a card to that at the very end of this video. But until next time, I'm Clifton, and I'm here to help you drink good whiskey.